I actually thought you were going to focus on Tommy Fleetwood's latest attempt to try and win a PGA Tour event, and I felt for him last night because he had a 2-shot lead after the 15th when he gets to the tee box in 16.
Oh, I'd gone to bed long before that.
Oh no, I had to stay up at that point. I thought, right, he's finally going to close this out. It has significance because it's a playoff event on the PGA Tour as well. He wins this, he's going to fly up the rankings for the FedEx at the end. And you're thinking, yeah, he's going to finish this. 5-shot lead on Friday. Looks like actually he's in a really good position. And then he bogeys on 17 at a point when Spawn and Rose are catching up. And by the time he gets to the 18th tee box, he's actually a shot behind. He's then chasing from a position of strength from earlier in the round, and he drives directly into the bunker when he tries to go for a birdie, and Fleetwood has to watch on as Spawn and Rose go on to play 3 holes on the playoff, and eventually Rose will hold his nerve. So I felt for him because the interview with Fleetwood afterwards again was, so Tommy, you didn't close it out at the Travellers' Championship a couple of months ago. You haven't closed it out now. You can't win on the PGA Tour.
So this is the start of the FedEx playoffs.
Yeah, first event, yeah. So the big story on it really was that Rory McIlroy opted not to play in it, and he has he has confirmed he is going to play the end of season for the DP World Tour Championship, but he basically didn't play the first tournament here. He is going to play this week. He's taken a break essentially since the Open, but it indicates he's not that interested in becoming the FedEx champion.
When does the field start to get smaller and smaller?
So they bring it down by a few players every week.
From now on.
Lowry, after last night, I think is just outside the top 20. I saw when they put the graphic up. So
that's fine.
Still, yeah, it's fine. Scheffler's still, in pole position to win the FedEx at the end of this. But Justin Rose giving himself a chance of winning a lot of money at the end of the season by winning the first event, because it really does ramp up exponentially with the money over the next few weeks as well.
And you get a lead heading into the final round,
which some people like, some people don't like. To be honest, I don't really mind it. I think it keeps the Tour Championship interesting.
Does it? Well, does it not make the end of thing just a bit of a procession?
It can do if it's someone really good like Scheffler, and they come out with a 3 or 4 shot lead on the final round, and you just watch them, play themselves very, very well and very, very effectively, and you don't get much drama. But I actually think it's fair enough to at least give them some kind of advantage for what they've done for the season just gone.
Yeah, the money is the other thing that they get for how well they've done. This is an extra advantage on top of the money. So the eagle-eyed among you will know that Colm...
He's done it again.
He's not here. He took the Monday off to celebrate another All-Ireland win, and what? Oh, no, lo and behold, they couldn't do it. Was there a neutral in the country cheering against Galway yesterday? I don't know, for some reason.
Hard push.
Poor Cork. Poor Cork.
Mayo people, maybe.
Would Mayo camogie and
no, obviously
Mayo
that rivalry's not there. But you really think that Mayo people would want Galway to win anything?
Maybe, I don't know. That's a good point. Maybe there's We obviously the Irish Examiner, their coverage, it was them what won it.
It's their fault. Yeah.
Which seems mad. This has been the longest summer of retribution.
Yeah.
In sport that we've ever seen. There has not been a team that has not come out subsequently and claimed that the only thing that got them over the line wasn't their hard work, their strength and conditioning, their superior tactical ability, the genius of the individual players, the game plan. It was just that bitterness, that Irish pig-headedness, ignorance at being called something mildly amusing, mildly annoying, horrible, disgusting. Was it worse than that?
No. Siege mentality is a powerful thing, though. And like in this case, it wasn't just Colm Murray, who obviously referenced the Irish Examiner in his press conference, but Ailish O'Reilly on the TV said the same. She said they got pig sick all week of reading about Cork going for 3 in a row and the fact they hadn't done it in 50 years. And it was almost going to be a case because Cork were beating everyone by an average of 9 to 10 points this season, that they were just going to walk up and win the cup. And they had beaten Galway last season. They'd hammered them in the league final. And the entire narrative going into it was that this was Cork's crowning moment. And for many of those players to win a 3 in a row and to end that run since 73, where they won 2, I think, on 7 different occasions, but didn't turn it into 3. And Galway, we were saying it on Friday with Sarah and Niamh, who'll be back with us later on, that this was almost the perfect scenario for Galway. Because you're coming in under the radar, nobody's talking about them. Galway were also unbeaten going to the final, and you'd swear that they were the biggest underdogs of all time. I think they were 11-4 before the game started. Cork were seen as significant favourites, but at the same time, it wasn't a case of, this was a team who'd fluked their way to a final or anything. They were within a puck of a ball in the final last year. They got to the league final this season, and they were entirely written off. For once, a manager can say we're written off, and they're actually right.
Let's hear from him. Here is Colm Murray talking afterwards.
Yeah, some way to win it. Obviously, when you're on the back foot, which you are for a lot of the second half, to be honest with you. But I suppose when they levelled it with the goal, I suppose the massive point in the game that put out, and that resilience to win it. But we've shown that resilience all year, to be honest with you. And it's said there in the interviews, like we're 4 players down from last year's Ireland final. You know, missing the likes of Niamh Kilkenny, Niamh Hannafy, you know, Niamh McPeak, Anya Keane. You know, Roisin Black missed most of the year, to be honest with you. Eilish O'Reilly was missing for the last 2 group games, which were massive games, and you know, girls have just stepped up in different moments, and you know, we were probably guilty ourselves last year of not using our bench enough. You know, I thought bench made a massive impact today. I think Sabina made a huge impact. You know, everyone did a bit. Jenny, Ali, you know, Emma came out with 2 great balls there for a finish. And listen, we knew we'd have to battle. We knew we'd have to run ourselves into the ground, and we did. But I suppose that's the moment there. Carrie's free, and absolutely delighted for her. You know, she's our leader for a reason. She's captain for a reason. You know, she's a leader, and it's moments like that you know, we value her so much. She's an exceptional player, and yeah, it's a great win. Look, they're just an exceptional bunch. We knew training was on the money for the last 8, 9, 10 weeks. It's going really well, and we just backed ourselves. We were written off completely. You know, I don't know, the Irish Examiner yesterday, I think any Galway person reading that, or a player reading that, or a player rating, I'll tell you one thing, go back and read it. It's absolutely fucking insulting, to be honest with you. I thought it was the biggest insult ever, but that's coming out for the last 2 weeks. You know, we were given no chance. We knew we were 3 points off in 2023. We were 3 points off last year, and small little percentages, and you know, we just made them up today and just won their errand, and we're delighted.
Do we know exactly what he was talking about? On Cormac had a piece where he like 3 players to watch, and 2 of them were from Cork and 1 was from Galway. Is that it?
Is that really that big a deal? It is, I suppose, when you're looking for inspiration going into a final.
It's mad how personally this, and it seems to have an impact. Why is it? Like,
You know, I'm not sure when the Irish Examiner changed from being the Cork Examiner. Obviously, it is a Cork-based newspaper. I do appreciate they are a national newspaper.
Definitely playing to the audience.
Yeah. I mean, there's a strong Munster interest there amongst the customer base. I mean, it is interesting, because I'd say if you went back and looked at whatever he was specifically referring to, I'd say it was pretty innocuous. But you can just find whatever you want. But I'm always interested, like, in the siege mentality thing, because, like, we always assume that it's a powerful tool because it's only really the team that talks that wins.
It's true, yeah. The losing team definitely had some other... We're being softened up. They were softening us up. Well, it turns out they did. And ultimately it comes down to if a free is given the other way, which in some instances...
Which in this game particularly became really stuck in the craw of the Cork management afterwards, who... It's very rare that you get a manager that actually comes out as strongly against the referee as Ger Manley did after the game, where he felt really, really aggrieved by some of the decisions by Justin Heffernan during it. And there were a couple that were, I thought, fairly egregious. I thought the one where the Cork goalkeeper was fouled was terrible.
However, in the second half, it was clear, it looked like the referee was trying to even things up after the sending off. There were a lot of handy frees given to Cork when they were really struggling in the game, and then they, off the back of those handy frees, got back into the game. So, and also, Cork player would barge with the ball, not a foul. A Galway player would barge the ball, a foul. And you're like, come on, there needs to be some consistency here. Which I think if the sending off hadn't happened, might not have happened. Yeah.
Possibly. I think the overcarrying free was one of the ones that really annoyed Galway as well, where at one point they looked like they were going to get a free in front of the six. There was a high tackle. 2 high tackles within it.
Exactly.
It was an overcarrying.
So, and that stretches it, I think, to 5 or 6 at that point.
And it probably would have taken away Cork's momentum at that stage when they're coming back into the game. And I actually thought when Callahan hit the net, I thought it wasn't going to be a replay. I thought Cork were actually going to kick on and win it. So fair play to Kerry Dolan. She was accused of going down too softly for the free that was given that won the game, but she's about 55 metres over at a tricky enough angle and popped it over. Fantastic score to win any game. And there was brilliant needle throughout it as well. It was actually a really good senior final after what I thought was 2 pretty disappointing finals before it.
Well, we have some Ger Manley here. Have a look. Very angry.
Ger Manley, you said inside you'd nearly rather be beaten by 20 points than by 1 point. Can you talk us through your feeling there now?
Look, gutted for the players, very proud of them. I thought the second half performance was exceptionally good. We were down 5 points, player down, and they brought it in the second half. But look, we're beaten by Galway, a very good team. They brought a huge intensity. Just felt a few decisions went against us.
Yeah, notably the red card and the push in the back there looked like on Amy Lee at one stage, and then Galway get that score.
Yeah, well, the point was the difference in the point. I thought Claudia Fink got pushed near the end. I thought the free that they got to win it, she's a super free by Kerry Dolan, but Gemma tells me that she threw herself down, and I'm not saying she would do that now, but I didn't see it. But I thought that look, sending off, was it? There was loads of people inside in the hustle and inside that little huddle, as I said, and I thought it was harsh. But look, he's a ref, make his decisions, but I thought he had a poor game.
You still regrouped though after the red card and after half time, and you brought it back. What was the narrative like in the dressing room at half time when you've gone down to 14?
Yeah, we didn't play well the first half, and Galway brought a huge intensity. So what we said to ourselves was just we'd keep at it, keep our composure, and we made a few slight changes. And look, I thought the subs that came on did well for us. I thought they did very well. They came on, and I thought, second half performance was excellent. Very proud of them.
The physicality out there was probably the most physical match we've seen all this year in the Camogie Championship ever, nearly.
Yeah, it's just very, very physical. At times, it's probably was, some of the frees we felt we should have got 1 or 2 frees, but I suppose point difference in the end. As I said, I'd probably 20 points, so I'd be cursing one of those couple of frees that went against us and that we might have got. But it was Galway brought great physicality. They were excellent. Look, give them their credit. They brought huge emphasis. They were well on top in the first 20 minutes. I thought we came back into it, steadied the ship a bit, and I thought the second half we got the grips of it, and we played better with the 14 players, which is it's funny, do you know what I mean? But I'm very proud of the girls.
They kind of didn't keep the composure at one stage. They won a free, and Ashton Thompson takes it really quickly, and it's a bad one when there were better free takers around her to just kind of, and she hit it into the space where Galway had the extra person, and you're like, well, come on.
And their calmness was actually a reason I thought they were going to win. So last year they had to overcome Galway, making the game particularly sticky in the final, and they had to also get around the swarm defence, which Galway were actually better at this season than even a year ago. And again, sweepers are back in vogue. So a sweeper has been important in both the hurling final and in the Camogie final. I thought Aoife Dunne was brilliant as well for Galway throughout the game, but Cork needed to solve that, and then particularly in the second half when they were player short, and when they did get back into it and started to get the momentum, that calmness wasn't there that was maybe there in the Waterford game, where actually they were able to solve the problem and then kick on for home, and their subs made a massive difference. They didn't quite get that same kick in this final, so they'll be sickened. They've left 3 in a row behind.
We will come back to this a little bit later on with Niamh Rockett and Sarah O'Donovan. If you have anything you want to get off your chest this morning, 087 180 180 is the WhatsApp number. A reminder, Off the Wall Breakfast is with UPMC Orthopaedic Care. When things don't move, rotate or bend like they used to, choose us to help you get back in action. It is time for this week's performance rankings.
The good? Is it acceptable hard to say it was the performance so far of the World Cup? Maybe not.
The bad? I'm scratching my head. The performances was just lacked that intensity.
And the amber. Off the Ball's performance rankings.
Now we could have done a weekend performance rankings. Maybe it turned out probably we should be talking about Conor Kelly, who is, it looks like, going to go to the University of Texas following Rashida Adeleke, according to Ian O'Riordan in the Irish Times this morning. But we decided, because the Premier League is back this weekend, we're going to do a who had the best off-season, or what kind of off-season did many random clubs, but not yours, because we hate them.
You want to call this what it really is? Who's won the transfer window is what this is.
Yeah, essentially. We're going to start with Liverpool here. Arthur.
Yeah, well, you want me to run through the transfers?
Yeah.
It's been a busy summer.
I think a little bit of context for each of the clubs here.
It's been a busy summer in and out. Obviously, huge money spent. Milos Kerkez, Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong scored yesterday. Mamardashvili, who was obviously signed last season, and Hugo Ekitike. And then obviously, but to be fair to them, they've made an awful lot of that back.
Do you think Frimpong meant it?
No, of course not.
No.
It's a cross.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But
be lunacy.
Is it lunacy? Like, that's a good position to be able to like do the little dink. Is there a way in which you do that?
He's trying to.
How much do we? What's meant? Like, are we saying he meant? Like, he's putting it into a dangerous area?
Should players do that more often? Try and chip the keeper from there, or do you get hammered by your teammates?
It's probably like I don't suspect it's the most statistically sound choice.
Okay, all right. Sorry, go on.
Just a guess. I'm not sure. They've made a lot of their money back. So Darwin Núñez now is gone. That's almost the guts of £60 million. Got a little bit of money for Trent, Kevin Kelleher, Charles Kwanzaa, and the biggest of them all, Luis Diaz, 65 million. So they're doing, for all that it looked like they were spending the world there for a few weeks, they've kind of quietly made a lot of that money back as well. So
Javier come off the bench yesterday.
Yeah.
He looks like he might go to Leipzig.
Bad old penalty.
I see the papers reporting that they lost yesterday, but they didn't. It's like
okay. So Limerick didn't lose the most final.
Well,
cool.
I mean,
cool.
Limerick, there was a trophy that Limerick cared about.
There was a trophy yesterday. Well, a shield.
Yeah, but no one cares.
It's not a good
Crystal
one.
Palace cared.
Of course, Crystal Palace cared, but I think for the Premier League champions have won they have been winning it very consistently recently, is maybe the fairest way of putting it. But also for the next season, it's only been one of the last 14 winners of the Premier League have won the Community Shield.
So Palace aren't going to win the league?
Probably not.
Turns out unlikely.
Palace.
Yeah.
But Liverpool won't care. Last time Liverpool won the Community Shield, they were out with the title race by February. last time they lost the final, they won with 99 points. So they'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did they have a good transfer window?
Oh, I think you'd have to get excited, wouldn't you? Like
Green all day long.
I think
and
Green
twice on
all
Sundays.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed if they don't win the league and probably go very deep in Europe as well.
I think they need to make one more signing, but that signing doesn't necessarily need to be Isak. So I think they will sign Isak by the end of the window because of the very strong position they're in, given that he is now pushed for the move away from Newcastle. It's not, I don't think it's possible for him to go back and for that to be mended and for him to go back and have a good season there. So I think eventually they will break somewhere maybe at 120 or 130 million. But I think Liverpool need a centre-back. They're left short now by Kwanzaa leaving. So while whoever comes in, they're obviously being very linked with Mark Gay. It might necessarily mean that he gets in automatically ahead of Konate as Van Dijk's partner within defence, but I think they're too short at centre-back if they don't get someone in. Like Andy Robertson has had to fill in at left centre-back in pre-season as cover. And they're one injury away from having a defensive crisis again.
Yeah, they will sign a centre-back, I think. And I think they probably will sign Isak as well.
If they do that, it's a 10 out of 10 window then, because you've brought in 3 or 4 high-quality young attackers. You've addressed the 2 full-back positions where they had to get players in. They did the midfield the season before, and then you've got, basically the same defence or roughly the same defence. They're a much stronger team then.
Yeah. Is there any world in which the cliff comes for a couple of their players over the course of the season?
Like Salah?
And Van Dijk?
Van Dijk didn't play well yesterday for a start.
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
Like as good as all those.
Keeper.
Yeah.
For Alisson? Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't think he's shown too much signs of any weakness, really, has he?
Just bits and pieces. Like, we're shooing them in as 5 to 10 point favourites for the league title as things stand.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go
We'll go 10, but
close to 10, but they're definitely the favourites.
Wrapped up by March again, kind of?
No, I don't think so. Like, I just don't think so. I don't think the other teams are going to be.
I think City will be better than last year.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal now have a number 9 who we might get around to in a few moments, which is what they've been lacking. I'd be surprised if they don't have a proper title race this season. But also on Liverpool, on the defensive side of things and whether Van Dijk has gone off a cliff, etc., etc. Like Gravenberch wasn't there, who was such an important player for them. McAllister wasn't fit. So I think when they're back to their normal midfield, they get more protection than they did against Palace yesterday. And also, Palace got 2 significant chances in the game, scored both of them. Probably should have had a penalty as well, but
Yeah.
So their first choice team, it doesn't really matter. Like it's a midfield trio, which includes.
It'd be Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, and McAllister.
So it's 4-3-3, and then it's somebody's not.
I don't know because you're not playing Wirtz.
Yeah, Wirtz I think will be one of the attackers. And look, they just have so many. Then Salah will naturally play on the right hand side every time that he's fit, and then it's probably a case of working out.
They just have a very expensive bench.
Well, yeah, whether Wirtz is like a false 9 or whether it's a case of they play Cody Gakpo or Ekitike over on the other side. It was interesting that Ekitike played through the middle and played quite well in the Community Shield yesterday at a time when they're going out to try and sign Isak at the same time. But he can play over the other side.
And sometimes you've got too many players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what if, every first 20 minutes they were great, right? But then after a period of time, it was, well, what are you doing? No, that's my job. And I don't know, just...
No, it's fraud. It's fraud enough, because you don't see it happen that often. So it's not like you don't see that much change to a starting team happen.
Especially when they're successful.
Yeah, too often. Like it doesn't really, and even losing players is slightly strange. The way they lost Trent, that doesn't typically happen either. Again, when you're in such a strong position, so it'll be interesting what way it goes with them. But
I'd love to hear from some Liverpool fans this morning how confident they are. Like, is this the most excited they've been about a team?
They definitely should be. Like even Wirtz alone. Like I've never seen a guy with such a unanimously positive impression of him. Everyone, nobody balked, nobody even referenced the price he cost. Despite he broke the record when he came, didn't he? Nobody even talked about it. It was such a kind of an obviously brilliant move. There was a sure thing. So I'd say injuries notwithstanding. I mean, again, they'll be disappointed if they don't go and win the league and go very deep in Europe. Anything else would be a bit of a, barn, whatever. But it would be, all things being equal, it would be a disappointment.
The only thing about Liverpool 2.0 is they are hyper aggressive now. So they've got 2 fullbacks who like to play probably further forward than Robertson and Frimpong, even though Trent was obviously questioned defensively quite a bit. Frimpong, as we saw yesterday, will play effectively like a winger over on the right-hand side as well. And if you mix in all the attackers which are trying to get into the team at the same time as well, there is a balance to be found, and it could take a while for that to gel. So while you've got all of these, on paper, excellent players coming in, it might mean a bit of a shift in style. And generally, they haven't played with a 10 in the same way that Wirtz plays as well. This is a shift in style as well, because he wants to be getting the ball a lot, which means Mo Salah is going to be getting the ball a bit less.
Yeah,
realistically.
So, traditionally not happy about that.
Yeah, but it means you're just not going to move the ball probably as quickly as Liverpool have up to their forward line. Like, at least under Klopp, I know it did change a little bit under Slot last season, but it was about getting the ball up to whether it be Mane, Diaz, Firmino and Salah, and trying to transition as quickly as possible. Wirtz, while obviously he carries the ball very quickly, likes to take the ball and manipulate it a little bit more than they do previously. So again, is that just a slight change in style that they're going to have?
You've thing this year as well, don't you? You have AFCON.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, so Salah will be missed for a good probably 4 weeks in the total end of it. So you'll have to have a few different plans of action anyway.
Which, in fairness, they previously have been accused of not having, and now we're complaining that they're so rich that they have those issues. So it's green.
It's green all the way.
Green.
Otherwise, yeah, Jesus.
All right. Arsenal next.
Arsenal, let me get to the top of my little document here. Again, kind of Will alluded to it. They got what they wanted, so they have, well, not so much Kepa, but they've got Kepa in there. But between Zubamendi and Gyökeres,
Am I the only one who thinks Kepa's not that bad? Just because
he's fine. He's fine. Like,
he's also only going to play in the cups.
But he's had such a nomadic kind of few years that it's. Anyway, but they also have Christian Norgard in from Brentford, Nani Madueke in, and I don't know too much about Christian Mosquera from Valencia, but I believe he's defensive cover, isn't he?
A brilliant centre back who Villa have been chasing for 18 months, and then Arsenal swooped in at the last minute and got him. Can play
for 13 million. It's not too bad.
Can play cross. And likely to be first choice, I think, by the end of the season. Is that good? Now, I don't know. Obviously, they've had
good defensive options.
Brilliant centre back partnership, but always injured. One of them's always injured, so that's not going to happen to them this year. They also have, they've been the kid. Is the kid going to play? 15-year-old?
Oh yeah.
Surely not.
Probably get bits and pieces. Like,
is he that?
I don't know. Like, it probably depends how their season's going, but they have signed and they've let. There's some player like Jorginho, Kieran Tierney, obviously Thomas Partey. A few different players have gone. No real money, so they're just kind of clearing out house a wee bit. But
a lot of that was like, say, Ramsdale goes kept.
It's
not really that significant, really.
But they have. I mean, I think it is. It'll come down to things. It's like everyone's crying out for a striker. So now you have a striker. So see what happens. But I don't know. I think they'll find other ways of getting in their own way, to be honest with you.
I think there's two bits of good business in there. So they needed to get extra cover in the defensive midfield position. Zubamendi is proven quality now at this stage. You saw what happened with Spain in the Euros when he went in. They didn't miss a beat when he came into the team. He's quite dynamic from that position as well. So Declan Rice can play a little bit further forward. They brought in Norgard, which also gives them extra cover in that position, where maybe Arsenal felt a little bit light at times and Rice had to go a bit too far back. For 2 years, we've been complaining that they didn't have a number 9 and that they were far too light with just Gabriel Jesus as the only option through the middle. And now they've signed a genuine box striker who is there to finish the chances that they've been creating. And if anything else, if it takes the creative burden away from Bukayo Saka, Gyökeres is a fine signing. And I appreciate that it doesn't always translate when someone scores a shed load of goals in Portugal.
It's a hard G,
in other leagues.
Is that what it's a hard G, Gyökeres?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, that's at least the way I'm going to pronounce it. I'm not Swedish, so I don't know. But so Swedish listeners and viewers, by all means, correct me.
I wasn't sure, sorry.
But I think that he's going to sweep away quite a few of the chances over on. I think Madueke is just a case of bringing a guy in who's just cover for Martinelli over on that side. The Sterling thing didn't happen for them last season, and they were caught a bit short. This time around, it looks like they've got a bit more balance to their attack. They finally got a number 9. We've bemoaned them not doing it, and now they've signed the 2 key positions that they probably need to get players in.
Yeah, it's now or never, isn't it? It's a bit like the Cork Hurlers. It's now or never for this team.
Yes,
It's for Arteta anyway, right? So the team might find that there's a brilliant manager out there who's available to come in next year and win the league for them with a similar group of players, the vast majority of them still being around. Well, Mikel Arteta's not going to get another year after this if he doesn't actually win something, is he?
No, he'll have to do it now. He'll have to. But like again, at the same time, like it is very hard. Like you don't want to be shaking it up just for the sake of it. They're in a very nice position. Like I know it's not. We kind of reduce everything down to who wins and loses, but he's done a very good job over the last few years. Quietly, kind of not quietly, but like steadily building up this team. That you kind of go like, well, there's not too much, not too many kind of weak spots in that now. You're kind of like it will not shock you at all if they go on and win the league. which is kind of some going from where they were when he took over. And now obviously they've spent loads of money. Like there's no great kind of radical work there that he's done. But at the same time, like as you're saying, if Gyökeres takes off, I think you talk about now or never. I honestly probably think they've probably missed that boat.
Last season
felt a bit like that.
I just think that it's probably Liverpool are obviously they've shown no backward step at all, and you kind of figure that City will certainly be stronger.
I think there's probably a bit too much churn in both Liverpool and City for us to expect that they're going to reel off a 90 to 99 point season. So I do think there's still this 1 year left.
Oh yeah, maybe
a team, either Arsenal or maybe Chelsea, can come in and put together a season and win a load of games early on, put a bit of pressure on those two. They're like, look, we have the bones of a championship winning team here. It'll happen for us in the next couple of years. We've got the Champions League, whatever. And but I'd be putting all my eggs in the basket of winning the Premier League if I was Arsenal at this stage.
I'm just interested in whether the grind and what effect that's going to have on some of the players as well. So it's less of an issue for Arsenal and Liverpool, obviously, but Man City and Chelsea have had an extended season because of the Club World Cup. We're in the middle of getting ready for a World Cup. There's going to be quite a bit of international football this season to mix in. The Champions League is gone, again, very long group stage format. A significant squad is probably going to be required for whoever wins this league.
Yeah.
Just
And
purely because how tired players are going to be.
they do all have them,
Yeah.
is the thing. Like, so Havertz is fit, which means that...
Havertz also transformed his body entirely. Have you seen this?
Fair play to him.
So at the time that he was off, he's put on kilos of lean muscle. This is a guy who looked like he'd be knocked over by wind once upon a time. I wonder where Havertz actually fits into the team now, because Arteta seemed to like to move him back more as an 8 rather than being a forward. I wonder if he's going to play in midfield.
Was that because he was like unreliable and he was taking a bit of pressure off him? I think he's going to be the sub striker, to be honest. Gabriel Jesus ACL doesn't get fixed apparently until the end of November, so they've no other essential striker through the middle who can back up Gyökeres. So they're playing with a false 9 again. Or was Trossard playing there in the preseason friendly? Is that what you said?
I think he did go over that side. Again, I don't know if you can rely on Trossard through the middle.
Absolutely can't.
He's fine as a left side attacker. So
I think Havertz is the backup striker. Okay,
We've got through here with 6 left.
Yeah,
where are
okay,
we putting
50
Arsenal?
minutes.
It's fair enough to say green, isn't it?
pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's got to be green. Okay. So I believe it's Villa next, is it?
It's Villa next.
No, I won't lie to you, Ger. I don't know a lot of these lads. A lot of Yasin Ozcan, Sebequeno Redmond, Marco Bizzo, Modou Kebe Cisse, and the one who cost 28 million from Nice, Evan Gessan.
Yeah.
You excited? You feeling pumped?
Well, it's been a weird off season in that nobody's left. Like,
Seem
Emi
to release
Martinez.
if you're Robin Olsen's. Yeah, no, I mean,
Is there a list of players who've left?
Robin Olsen, Rico Richards, I presume he's a young lad gone to Port Vale.
You don't count Rashford because it was obviously
No.
known.
I was just thinking, so essentially
Coutinho.
Rashford not keeping them is essentially the only difference here, really.
So the Asensio, he's gone to Turkey, but he hasn't actually gone.
All right, okay.
So the latest is that last minute he might be coming back depending on who they can get rid of. But nobody's left. There was an assumption that 5 or 6 players would have to be sold / were going to be sold because
PSR.
they weren't performing. Your Leon Baileys of this world. John McGinn has been linked with everybody from Man United all the way down to Everton, and is still there. And I think they're talking about giving him a new contract. It's such a weird thing, right? Because you talk yourself into. They've kept all their best players.
Yeah.
And all those players now know exactly how to play with each other. There is this thing where they're talking about going back to 3 at the back, and they're going to play the 3 good centre backs they have, who they were never able to find a way to play Tyrone Mings and Pau Torres in the same team. All pre-season's been about that. They had the best offside trap in European football for about half a season 2 years ago, and then they completely they stopped it, which meant that the games were great to watch, but meant they were smashing teams or getting smashed. It was a roller coaster. Well, Newcastle hammered them on the first day of the season, and famously said that's a great team, and then they qualified for the Champions League.
Yeah, everyone questioned whether he meant it, if he'd gone kind of doddery.
That's 2 years ago.
So, like, what's he talking about?
Yeah, that's only 2 years ago. So, like, they should hit the ground running because all the players know each other. There's no churn in the squad. We'll see. But you can't put them in the red because they've kept Ollie Watkins and they've kept Emi Martinez and they've kept
If Watkins,
all of the midfielders.
say if Newcastle go in and get Watkins by the end of the window, that changes everything, doesn't it?
Well, he's in really good form. I mean, I know it's pre-season and everybody scores goals in pre-season. But Ollie Watkins doesn't always score goals in pre-season. And you have to assume that his shot conversion regresses to the mean in a good way this year. And actually, the misses that he had last year start going in for him. It's a World Cup year. It's he's turning 30 next summer. So this is his last chance to score 25 goals. He's 25 goals short of joining the 100 club for Villa in the Premier League. So I don't know. I would have them in the orange personally.
Ruben Amorim wanted him.
Yeah, I saw that and didn't
Didn't end up getting him.
Gawker is more Gawkwan than Gawker is. I'm workshopping that one.
Where are we putting Aston Villa?
In the orange.
In the orange.
Little,
okay. I believe we're on to Brentford next, are we? Our Irish representative in the Premier League this year.
This is going to be red, Arthur.
Did Aidan Delaney say they're the first Irish captain-manager combo in the Premier League? Did Joe Kinnear have an Irish captain? Did Kenny Cunningham captain Joe Kinnear's?
Wouldn't have thought so. He'd probably be still too young. That's a great question. Well,
Chris Hughton never had an Irish captain.
Seamus Coleman, his own captain.
Robbie.
so Kenny didn't Mick McCarthy. He didn't stay around after they got promoted. Sunderland, so he wouldn't.
Oh, he took them down with the lowest record point.
Yeah, but when they came up, I presume Kenny might have been captain. Anyway, I don't know. It's a great question. Yeah, I suppose there's just been so few
Premier League era we're talking about, obviously.
Yeah.
This doesn't exist.
David O'Leary never had Ian Hart as captain, or Gary Kelly. Was Gary Kelly club captain at Leeds? Was Lucas Radebe? Yeah, anyway.
Lucas Radebe, I think.
Anyway. Yeah, so that's the way it goes. Now, it's been I don't know how confident. Obviously, it's of great interest to us. The Brentford scenario, from their own point of view, it's been
This is a rough win.
big old summer of loss, with potentially more to come. I suppose most important of all, even probably more than any player, they'd probably factor in losing Thomas Frank as massively disappointing, albeit I suppose somewhat inevitable in the long term. They made a few signings, I suppose most notably for us, Caoimhín Kelleher, and then brought in Jordan Henderson as well on free. So you can see what they're trying to do. But I don't know. I wouldn't. It'll be very interesting, particularly I suppose for Keith Andrews.
It all looks so promising when the window starts with they replace Flecken with Kelleher at a slight profit.
Yeah.
And I felt like, okay, this is the foundation for a decent summer. Then Thomas Frank is taken away by Tottenham. They have to go to a rookie manager in Keith Andrews, and then all their best players start agitating for moves, and some of them have already moved. So they're going to end up without their two best attackers from last season are going to be gone. Norgard, who is the kind of key to their midfield, is gone. Switch from him to a 35-year-old, nearly Jordan Henderson, is a step backwards. They've been ripped to shreds in this window.
It's tricky for them. It is tricky. You're trying to make the case for things to go well, and you're just hoping that Keith has a plan. That's really it.
Kelleher's going to be a busy boy.
Yeah, maybe they have replacements for those players already bought. That seems to have been traditionally what they would have done in the past. They were happy to sell players because they knew they had players at the club who we don't know about. I don't think anybody was sitting here 12 months ago predicting that their attacking players were going to have the year that they had. So who knows? You'd have to assume that somewhere the little data boffins have come up with these players, they're the same profile. And then it's up to Keith Andrews to deliver similar levels of performances. So it's a massive, massive job for him.
It's huge. And it's huge. It's enormous. And it's one of those things where it can be, just because the way it goes, like this could be your shot. It's not really a given you come back. You know what I mean? At this level.
No.
So it's tough, but at the same time, it's an amazing opportunity. You don't want to be too negative about it. Well, it's an amazing opportunity.
Players, managers, like Scotty Parker has managed to come back, you know?
I suppose he has the added thing of being a far higher profile, yeah.
Being English definitely helps.
And he's done all right. I mean, he's got two promotions now. Like,
Yeah, but that's right. Like the next, if this doesn't go well, and it's over quickly, you do have to then do the.
I'm not. I meant particularly at the Premier League. I don't mean he's going to probably. I'd say he will get a job again. I don't think. But look, there's no need to be too negative about it.
My concern be if it doesn't go well early doors, straight away it'll be Brentford should have went for a more experienced coach. They took far too much of a risk promoting from within again.
Yeah.
And that Keith Andrews is perhaps a very good number 2, or he's a guy who's very good at the restarts that he was organising for last season for them. And maybe that's where he's best deployed, but he's not going to be a first team coach. And that might be the label that sticks with you if it doesn't happen for him.
Yeah. Where are you putting Brentford then?
They're in the red at the moment.
Okay. There you go. I believe it's Chelsea next. Good Lord, what a summer.
When do you start? When does the summer begin?
Like, they have spent enormously. They've sold a bit. Like, João Felix is after leaving. I'd never known they'd bought him.
Oh, yeah.
I knew he was there, but it's just been, there's so much
we were
turn here.
We were talking a bit about this. It's under-reported that Clearlake are backed by PIF at some level to a certain percentage. And actually, perhaps the Saudis have more interest in being successful in London with Chelsea than they have with Newcastle at the moment. And certainly they're riding both these horses to some degree.
It feels like they've actively constructed transfers that have gone against Newcastle in this window, and they have bought players for the last 2 seasons that have helped Chelsea, certainly with PSR. There's no doubt about that.
They've made a profit on João Felix, even though he's been a complete failure since he arrived. And
he played a bit of Conference League, bit of League Cup, and gone for...
Was he great against Rovers in the Conference League? Did the Rovers play?
All I remember, he got sent off in his first game, didn't he, when he came in on loan first?
That was the first spell.
Yeah. That's all I remember of his time there.
He will be a fun Wikipedia question at some point on the Wikipedia.
But, otherwise, so Jamie Gittins, obviously highly rated, in from Dortmund. João Pedro, know all about him. Liam Delap.
Why is Pedro so cheap? Was he 40 million?
Was he?
60.
60?
Yeah.
All right, it's not that, but it's still like, I think he's a guaranteed...
proven Premier League player.
Yeah. It's hard to know. You never know, I suppose, what things are built into it or whatever else.
How many wingers do they need? For Gittins there, maybe Garnacho ends up there too.
Garnacho as well. That seems to be all the kind of rumour. I have no idea. You can't really construct a plan of what they're trying to do. Now, all things being equal, I mean, they probably far outperformed what anyone expected them to do last year. Obviously, went and won the World Cup, and we know how highly Ger rates that. So that's a big old... I
mean, certainly made them a lot of money, getting the ability to do all this in the transfer window.
Yeah, absolutely. But
have they brought anyone else in?
I got Kendry Paez from Independiente for 17.3 million. Mamadou Sarr, Dario Asugo, Estavo Willian, who I think is meant to be very good. Joral Hato from Ajax. It's huge, but like it's a number of players joining what's already a huge squad. A lot of guys have kind of gone out as well on different loans or whatever else, but it's they're obviously in the Champions League this year as well, aren't they? So they finished top 4, didn't they? Yeah. So I suppose partially you need that size of a squad, but like good grief, he's a job on his hands, because it's very hard to know at the same time what to set the bar at. He was obviously very quick last year, Maresca, to write off a league title despite the fact they were looking decent. So now we kind of probably, I don't know, do they expect you to bite the bullet a bit more? You kind of have to be.
I think so, yeah. I think he managed those expectations as well as he possibly could as the Chelsea manager, to the point where he was managing them and they were like, we're going to fire you if you keep saying that. It felt like, certainly there's always the rumours in the back of the English papers in particular. A well-sourced club, Chelsea, leaky. Didn't they have a big row? Didn't Bowley have a row with the other guys? And wasn't there some... That all...
Oh, there was some talk.
All that talk has disappeared.
So he was stepping back or something.
Perhaps they made some peace.
Well, I think for the purposes of this and the constructs of time, it's probably green. I mean, they've signed it's positive steps. It seems they've done their own business.
They've made a lot of money back, in fairness.
Exactly. Yeah, like it is. Yeah, by whatever means necessary. But yeah,
if Delap or João Pedro hit the ground running, then it's a very green window.
I'm sorry, they'll probably end up selling Jackson. I mean, they'll be fine. They will make a lot of money back, but it'll be interesting to see what they do.
It's 279 in, 231 out so far, is what Transfer Market is saying. Now, obviously, Transfer Market has its quirks, but yeah. All right.
Manchester United.
Oh, green all day long. You must be excited.
No.
Oh.
Not allowed, not getting yourself allowed to get carried away. I mean, I read these glowing reports of their trip to the United States. The team are all friendly again. They got rid of all the malcontents.
Yeah, that has helped. Cutting guys out. But they've a lot of selling to do before you can kind of...
Charismatic young manager arrives from a foreign league, has a moment of crisis early on. A corner gets turned. He starts talking about dynasty. Come on, you got to love Ruben Amorim.
Hold on, when was this corner turned?
In the summer there.
The team players.
They won some trophy, the Snapdragon Shield the other day. There was a penalty shootout they won. I mean, if the Charity Shield counts, there's surely the Snapdragon.
It's been an all right
goblet.
It's been an all right summer on the face of it, but they still need to get rid of the likes of Anthony Garnacho, potentially Hoyland.
Poor Hoyland. What is it like?
He didn't score goals.
Yeah, like it's difficult for him, but at the same time, he didn't want to go by the looks of it. But at the same time, he's had his fair share of chances.
Would you not, at this stage, keep Hoyland and play him? He's your sub because he's actually fairly physically similar. I mean, I know he's probably a foot shorter, and he's not a small man himself.
You've got Xerxes there as well. So it's not, and they've got your man Obi, the young lad coming through. So
yeah,
like
you don't want to play him too much. I mean, I would prefer Garnacho to Xerxes personally.
Well, you're not
Garnacho. I prefer Hoyland.
Hoyland to Xerxes.
Amorim likes to play 2-10s though. So Xerxes probably gets more football than Hoyland would if Sesko is going to be the undisputed starter, which it seems he is.
Yeah, but they will have a million games this year. Well, they
no, they don't. No,
they don't.
All right, fair enough.
40 odd, like.
Fair enough.
Is Hoyland not a bit of a cautionary tale on all this as well? So for all the talk of Sesko and how he feels like a sure thing, Hoyland was so hyped when he came in. His age profile was talked about at the same time, and then his conversion rate was very poor.
Yeah.
We've been here before.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the only thing that I think is it's an interesting thing because we're talking about the bars that are kind of set and what way teams are going on, this and that. But like the reality is that Man United's season last year was so poor that just by the law of averages, they're going to improve this year.
Yeah,
and they've bought. To be fair, like I don't know if Cunha and Mbeumo are going to set the world alight, but they're better than what was there. They've played in the league. So
his profile very good.
Yeah, it sort of stands to reason that kind of brings things up, that it's not... Yeah, but again, I don't know if... I wouldn't even dream of being saying that Man United are going to be finishing top 5. Like, not a hope.
Not a hope, but a hope. I mean, absolutely a hope. Like, a hope that they fire...
Where would it come out of it? It'd be like, it's fanciful to think it. Like, there's no kind of...
We'll get into this in more detail before Man United slap. But where are you putting them?
Yellow, because they've not sold anyone. I mean, they've in the middle. They still need players too. I mean, they still need a midfielder, and Casemiro is still within one kind of twisted ankle of being back in that starting team, and that man, he's not gotten faster in the last 3 months.
I mean, he also had a bit of a body transformation over the summer, so we shall see.
Okay, well, in the yellow,
maybe he has got faster. All right, let's remember anyway. Okay, very quickly, we're
firing through here. Okay, yeah. So is it City next?
City.
Weird old summer for them in terms of kind of lost a lot of kind of big players. Like Brian has gone. I know Kyle Walker was already gone for most of last year, but kind of the breakup of that team is well and truly underway. But then they've done their business very early. So you might even forget, like the likes of Ryan Cherky got in there from Lyon, great against Man United in the Europa League. James Trafford back. Tiani Reinders from AC Milan, Aït-Nouri from Wolves. So they got their business done early. I suspect this season with City, it's just a case of probably, again, a bit of reversion to the mean. Whether they're good enough to kind of... Because you kind of forget, we kind of get a bit kind of silly about things, but you kind of think it's like, oh no, they have the best striker in the world. So they have Erling Haaland. And it's kind of like, you can't really write them off from doing anything. It would be anything bar preposterous for them to go and win the league. It's like, oh yeah, no, you still have this sensational player, and if you've just built everything around him.
The rumours around Rodri going to Real Madrid are getting stronger. Now, there's a possibility this is how Real Madrid do their business.
Real Madrid.
They unsettle you a year out.
Real
and then
Madrid.
Next summer you get them. And so he plays for one last year for them, all the way up to the World Cup, whatever. That's a possibility. There is a possibility that a bid comes in and they do their business and they take him, and that suddenly you're like, oh, it's I'm not sure.
He's so difficult to replace. Though. Like De Bruyne, you can replace systematically, but Rodri is so key out to how they play. He's out for a month now as well with an injury. Now, whether the transfer happens or not due to that, but he's out till September.
Okay.
So he's had a recurrence in his recovery, basically, from the injury from last season.
Well, that's interesting because they obviously rushed him back at the end of last season. It did turn out not to be worth it. Okay, so where are you putting them?
Green.
All right.
I trust it with Green. I think they're well set.
Okay. Paul Joyce is standing by. We're going to get to him to talk about the Liverpool. And we'll also mention Everton. The Grealish stuff is hotting up. Have we got one more left? Two more left?
I think we're going to have one more, don't we?
Spurs anyway, yeah. Spurs.
Just throw them into the red.
If we didn't do your club, we obviously hate
Just
it.
put them in the red.
In the red. It's been a disaster so far. I mean, it's...
Madison out, ACL.
It's been a nightmare. Maybe they get some business done towards the end of it, but we were looking at some sort of Opta odds checker for the year in where your team is predicted to finish. So Opta, serious people.
They ran a supercomputer of 100 simulations of the season.
Spurs are down to finish 13th.
Supercomputer / Gemini AI. Tell me run a trillion seasons for me in there to see what happens.
You should be happy enough they Villa in the top 5.
Did they? I mean,
Villa 5th.
Well, I do love an L supercomputer.
28% chance Liverpool win the league was what the supercomputer came out.
Well, that's so they're the favourites by a mile.
Yeah. I think there was another one in 20 something. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
City. So basically, City, Arsenal, Liverpool made up about a 70% chance of one of those three winning the Premier League.
All right. Villa 100-1 at the moment, if you're looking for
if you're that way inclined.
All right, that's this week's performance rankings.
Off the balls, performance